your student gets COVID, they need to quarantine at home for 10 days from the date of their positive test, or they can submit to us a negative COVID test if you chose to have them get one of those. And there's different eligibility dates on when they can take that test based on when their symptoms started. What if a student is exposed to COVID at Rogers? Your student doesn't have COVID, but they were exposed to a student who had it. What Department of Health tells us right now is that in the K-12 setting, as long as our students are masked indoors and we're following other mitigation measures, we're washing our hands, we're sanitizing surfaces, that your student would not be required to quarantine. Now that becomes a little more sticky if we get a large number of students and it's an outbreak, and then that's a different story. Then we would be doing some quarantine. But for the one or two off where they were in that same classroom, but your student has been masked, the students have been masked, we're not required to quarantine that classroom. I want to say about COVID, we are doing the very best we can, but we can't be perfect at it, right? And we're realizing that there's so many other factors that, well, for instance, we haven't had crazy smoky days yet, but I think they're coming. And so we have some protocols for when we're outside if the smoke or the air quality is at a certain level. And it feels a little bit like, okay, which way do we go here? Because we need to be outside as much as possible to get away from the COVID germs. But if it's really smoky, then we can't be outside. Then it's too dangerous because of the air quality. And so it feels like we're kind of just doing our best to measure that and to balance that out. And so just please know that it is our ultimate goal to keep everybody as safe as possible, but we also know that there's many, many factors all playing into this. And so we just really appreciate your support and your patience.